Today I'll be explaining a movie titled Anikulapo. In the heart of the Yoruba land, or your town, precisely, the villagers are doing the usual buying and selling in the market. Then suddenly, Akala the mystical bird appeared, and there was chaos in the market, and it turned out to be Fashion Ball having a dream. I believe you know why the bird is after them. If you don't, quickly go to Netflix and watch Anikulapo Season 1, and you can as well watch a recap of the movie on our channel. There's a link to the video in the description. Saro woke up and saw himself in the middle of nowhere. And then he saw some people walking on a straight line. And when he said about the destination, he was told that they are going towards the gate. Then he remembered the events that happened, which led to him being there, and said that shouldn't one be dead before going to Heaven's Gate? When he got to Heaven's Gate, the angel asked at the gates to go back, asked him to go back, says he wasn't walking or entering into heaven because he used Akala's power selfishly to raise the dead, and he was given a condition to either go back and kill all the people he raised from the dead or continue to roam about as a wandering spirit. A quick disclaimer, this summary is provided solely for educational purposes and is not a substitute for watching the complete movie. It is intended to encourage viewing the entire film for a comprehensive understanding. After killing 3 people, the old woman who was blind noticed his presence and told him that she was not willing to die just yet, and she bargained for her life by telling Saru that he can actually get another chance to live on Earth as a human being. She told him about the living world and the ability to bring him back to life. After following the instructions he was given, Saru got his body back and began to live as a human being in Ajay village. Meanwhile, Queen Arulake is seen wandering about in the forest with no particular destination. Fashawan met with the king to talk about all the calamity that has befallen the villagers and how it's as a result of Akala's anger towards them and it's seeking for vengeance. And the only way to bring back happiness and peace and end all the happiness in the village is to look for Queen Arulake and make some sacrifices to appease Akala. The king waved off the idea. Saru tried to get a job to sustain himself, but he couldn't keep up due to that he has been dead for a year before his resurrection. But with the help of the spirit, he became a successful palm wine tapper in the village. The 3 people that he killed made a bargain with him that they will let him enjoy on earth. But after 3 years, he will have to complete his mission and lead them back to Heaven's Gate. Fashawan went to meet Basharun after seeing the king, but was not giving him much attention to his warning. And Bashar promised to get to the root of the matter and find the solution. Basharun invited Adigu to discover the truth about what really happened to the king. And after much persuasion, he confessed and he took him to the palace to reveal to the king and elders that the king was alive, and he lied because they brought him back to life after he was killed by snakes bite in the forest. The king ordered that the town crier should announce in all the villages that anyone who finds Queen Arulake will be rewarded, but not to the king. Basharun had no intention to take the powers of Akala that Saro had in his possession, and he made a bargain with Adigo to spare his life, that if he is able to locate the whereabouts of Saro, he will allow him to go scot-free. Saro became famous in Ajay village for his palm wine, and he and the daughter of the former palm wine tapper, Loterera, fell in love with each other against her father's wishes. After 2 years, Saro began to plot new ways to deceive 3 spirits so he can spend more years on earth. What do you think will happen in the coming episode? Will Saru be able to live more than the bargain 3 years? What will then become of Queen Arulake? Leave your thoughts and comments in the comment section below, and don't forget to subscribe to this channel. Thank you.
Still on the Anikulapo series, Arulake had a dream, and a dwarf woman gave her a bag of cowries. When she woke up, she discovered that Akin came back for her because he felt guilty about leaving her in the forest the whole night. He took her to his sister's house where she was taken care of and well fed. Arulake realized her dream was real because she saw the bag of cowries that was given to her. Going forward, she told Akin she would want to get her own place and, if possible, for Akin to stay with her, and he began to question her source of wealth, but she told him a lie after she remembered her experience with Saru and how he betrayed her. Arulake became a wealthy woman, and her fame grew in the entire village. Saru became worried because he realized he knew his time was up and he couldn't trick the spirits anymore. He became very protective of his wife, and began acting strange, which troubled his wife. She confronted him and told him she knew all he was going through, and she knows the person who could help him. A quick disclaimer: this summary is provided solely for educational purposes, and it's not a substitute for watching the complete movie. It is intended to encourage viewing the entire film for a comprehensive understanding. To download or watch the movie, please click the link below, and if you have not subscribed to our channel yet, please do so. Basharun became worried because Adigun that he sent to capture Saro was still not back after a month, so he sent his guards to capture his parents in case they might know his whereabouts. Meanwhile, Awolaran, Omowumi's bond grew stronger, but it was obvious that Omowumi took him as a friend rather than a fiancé. The king and his chiefs thought of ways to make peace with the people of Ede, and they decided to invite Prince Kuranga to the palace so they can make a peace treaty. Kuranga and his people came to Oyo town to see the king and find ways to make peace, and Kuranga requested for Omowumi's hand in marriage. Latorera went to see her mother, Awarun, to seek help for Saru, and Awarun realized her daughter's husband, Saru, is the same Saru she knew before, and she was scared because she once had an affair with him. Meanwhile, Adigun was able to trace Saru, and he captured him and took him back to Basharun. Akin became worried because rumors was gradually spreading because of the source of Arolake's wealth. He told Arolake it is better to move out of the village and go into hiding so as to avoid any trouble. But Arolake refused and said she was tired of running and hiding. Instead, she came up with a plan to trick the king in order to earn pardon from the king and the villagers. Akin went to the palace to meet with the king and told the king that himself and his boss, who is a widow, would like to explore the kingdom and dine with the king, and he brought lots of jewelries for the king. The king agreed to Akin's demand, and Arolake came to the palace fully covered in a veil to see the king. When she was alone with the king, she pleaded with the king to pardon her and told the king that all the allegations against her was false, and it was the plot of the other queens to spoil her image in the village. On her way out, Basharun saw her and traced her to her house, became suspicious of her, and asked the king about her, but the king denied. Adigun brought Saro to Basharun so he can gain his freedom, but Basharun promised he will not kill Saru if Saru gives him Akala's power, but Saru said he does not have any power. Basharun killed Adigun and asked Saru to wake him up, else he will also share the same fate as Adigun. Basharun arrested Arolake and asked her for the source of her wealth, and he will spare her life and let her go if she gives it to him. She took Basharun to her house and gave him her bag of cowries, but Basharun still arrested her and planned to kill her in front of the whole village. On the day of Arolake's execution, Kuranga's men invaded the village and killed Basharun and went away with Omowumi. Arolake used the opportunity to escape. Basharun was leading the other lost souls to Heaven's Gates. Will he be able to enter Heaven's Gates? Will Saro be able to go to Heaven's Gate without his key? What do you think will be the fate of Saro? Will Arolake have a happy ever after with Akin? Leave your comments in the comment section.